Hispanic people love us. He was just saying, he's not a big fan of what's happening on the other side. They'll destroy our country. We'll end up in a depression like in 1929 if they get in with what they're proposing. Last month, Joe Biden stopped at one of Javier's restaurants to tout his support in the Latino community. And, you know, Joe walked in, it's like not the most, it wasn't too exciting when he walked in. He didn't know where the hell he was. What kind of a restaurant? Is this Italian? He says, is this a French restaurant? Looks like a French restaurant. No, we have to focus on her because he's gonzo, so we'll focus on her. She's terrible. She's worse than he is. By the way, he's the worst president in the history of the United States. Jimmy Carter is very happy because he is considered to be a brilliant president by comparison. He's a very happy man. And she's considered to be the worst vice president in history. I don't know who the hell did that. If they do polls and they do studies, she's considered to be the worst vice president in history. 6 weeks ago, they were laughing at her. She was a joke. And now she got the nomination. She didn't get any votes, but she got the nomination. Explain that one. But I understand that Javier has something he would like to say about that, and so I'll ask Javier to come up and say a couple of words. Thank you. About the meeting you had with Joe.
Well, thank you for being here, President Donald Trump. Me and my family really appreciate that you guys give us the opportunity to host this event, so important. And I was telling them earlier, before you got here, that I came when Ronald Reagan was the president. And you know what? I really miss those times. So I need you to please make America great again.
Thanks, Abby. Thank you. And we will. We will. You got a good sample.
My daughter over there,
Yes.
and she agrees with you 100%.
Good.
My daughter over there.
It's a beautiful daughter.
She really thinks that you are cuter than Kamala.
Oh, I see. She agrees on that. Well, that's a good thing to agree on. That's very nice. Thank you very much, Sally. Appreciate it. Great job you're doing. So thank you to Javier, to everybody
Thanks
under
for showing up.
my leadership. Our Latino American community has prospered like, as you know, and as he knows, prospered like never before. Yeah. And you know, we're winning. We won places. The governor of Texas called me. The last election, we won every border town along the border, and they're almost entirely Hispanic. And we won all of them. We won the votes. First time, they said, since Reconstruction. So I said, when you say Reconstruction, you know, that's a little complicated word in a sense because it means a lot of things to a lot of people. But I said, that means a civil war. Is that what you're referring to? That's right. Since the Civil War, that's never happened. And we did it twice. We did it in 16, and we did even better in 20. We actually did much better. Right? But we're doing better now than either of those two. There's more spirit. I mean, you look at outside in the street, how many people are out there, and I only hope they stick around when I leave and they come into your restaurant. You'll never be able to serve them, but it's just too many people. But you're going to see. But Hispanic American household incomes hit an all-time high under the Trump administration. Hispanic American unemployment rate hit the lowest it's ever hit, lowest ever. Hispanic American poverty rate reached a record low, the lowest number ever. And by the way, it's now inched up very substantially. And yesterday, Javier, they did something that was terrible. It was just found out. They reported that 818,000 jobs were here that weren't. They were fake. They reported fake jobs. And they were going to announce that after November 5th, the most important day in the history of our country, the election. They were going to report it after, but there was a whistleblower or somebody leaked it. There was a leaker, a friendly leaker, a patriot leaker, leaked it, and That's not a revision. You know, that usually they call that a revision, like there's, 10,000 jobs. This is 818. I think it was the biggest number, certainly in memory. 818,000 fake jobs they reported. They don't exist. Total fake job. And this is what we're dealing with. And that's at a big number. That's a big, big downward number, in other words, on their reporting. But they reported these jobs, and now they've had to revise it and take them off the books. More than 1.5 million Hispanic Americans were lifted out of poverty during my administration, and the household wealth of the median Hispanic family grew by 65%. That's a lot, Javier. 65, it makes sense, right? Now it's heading south, by the way, just in case but we'll get it back up fast. The Hispanic American high school graduation rate reached an all-time high, and home ownership among Hispanics also hit a record high. And for working families and small businesses like this one, this is not a small business, this is a big business, but we'll call it a small business for tax purposes, okay? We delivered the largest tax cuts and regulation cuts in the history of our country. We achieved energy independence, and we built the greatest economy any time in the history of the world. It was the strongest economy anybody had ever seen. Under Kamala, it has been one disaster after another. Take a look at the border. You want to really see a disaster. I was there yesterday. What a disaster. After Kamala cast the tie-breaking votes on the bills that caused the worst inflation in decades, the Harris price hikes have cost the typical Nevada family. And you take a look. So the Nevada family spent $32,000 more under this horrible regime of people that don't know what the hell they're doing. Now Kamala is promising communist price controls on food. Her plan will cause catastrophic inflation, shortages of rationing. The restaurant industry will be obliterated. And I say welcome to 1929. Do you know what 1929 was? You don't want to know, right? You don't want to know, but that's where they're headed if they do what they're planning. Kamala is also pledging the largest tax hikes in American history, and Las Vegas hospitality industry would actually never recover from that. It's the largest tax hikes in history. And, you heard her words last night. She doesn't talk about that. You notice they talked, I guess she mentioned the Trump name many, many times, like 19 or 21 or something. She didn't mention the border. She didn't mention inflation. She didn't mention the bad economy. She didn't mention crime. She didn't mention any of the things that she's supposed to be mentioning. But she mentioned Trump 21 times or some crazy thing. And she mentioned thank you about 50 times. Did you see the beginning? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I said, what the hell is wrong with her? But then she recovered. She did much better. But she didn't tell anything. She didn't say anything. She talked about her family, how beautiful San Francisco was. I put out a note. I said, well, the word "was" is very important because what the hell happened? Under her, as district attorney, she destroyed San Francisco, and then as the Attorney General, she ruined the state of California with her stupid policies. But she was showing her beautiful life in San Francisco, and everybody was joking. That was before she destroyed it. She's supported the idea of a 70 to 80% tax hike. I don't think the man behind me will be happy. You wouldn't mind paying 80% in taxes, would you? What the hell? He says, whatever's good for America, right? 80% tax rate, and now she's even pushing a tax on unrealized capital gains. In other words, the appraisers are going to make a lot of money, which will soon be applied to small business owners, and you will be forced to sell your restaurant immediately, and the new owner won't do the job, and this restaurant will be closed. But we're not going to let that happen, Javier. We're going to make it bigger, better, stronger, just like the country. So this is really beyond social, because she's a socialist, but she's really a Marxist. A Marxist is a step beyond. Remember how you said at the State of the Union, we will not have socialism in America. We will never be a socialist country. I was right. We skipped over socialism. We're down to communism, okay? I was right about it, though. I like to be right. Thank you. I like that woman. Where are you? I like that. She said, you're always right. But this is beyond socialism. This is the beginning of communism, and it really is, and we can't let that happen. You look at Venezuela, you look at some of these countries that we all know so well, and what happened to them can happen to us. It's just a bigger version. That's where we're headed if this group gets elected. But we'll not let Kamala and the group turn America into a communist nation. I'm not going to let it happen. We can't let it happen. I'll cut taxes, and what we're doing is we're cutting taxes, regulations. We're going to defeat inflation, rapidly bring prices down, and make America affordable again. It's not affordable. People can't buy, as Javier said before, they can't buy sneakers, they can't buy anything. To help seniors, we will have no tax on Social Security benefits. That's a big deal. I don't know. I'm trying to figure for restaurant workers, and all workers, tip workers, it's no tax on tips, but the Social Security, no tax, because they've driven them out of business. These people have suffered, and they've done things the right way. They've saved, and then the inflation destroyed them. And we're going to have no tax on Social Security benefits, and that's a big thing, and it's very important. Just as important as what I said before about the no tax on tips. Kamala wants to bring sky-high California energy prices to the rest of the country, and they have just destroyed California. First time ever, more people left California than came in. They've never had that before because they have the best weather, the most beautiful land. Everything is so good, but they have a terrible governor. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing, but he's got a great line of bullshit, you know. He's got a good line of stuff. We're doing great in California. You know the U-Haulets and the trailers and stuff? They go to Texas, Florida, other states, right? And they don't know what to do. They only go one way. They want to try and get them. They want to try and get them back. They have a hard time bringing them back. They don't know what to do. But under the extremist net zero energy policies, what you call them, the extremist, the radical people, they're really hurting our country and ultimately destroying our country. The environmental extremists, we call them. Nevada electricity prices have already increased by 50%. So it's 50%. Do you see them going up there? I mean, do you see that? They've gone up by 50% over a very short period of time, and I'll unleash American energy, and we'll cut your prices in half. We'll be able to get your energy prices cut in half, and that goes for the whole nation. That's ridiculous that they've increased that much, and you see that. Wow, that's terrible. I'll deliver universal school choice, letting your child go to the public, private, religious, charter school of your choice, the family's choice, and it's something. School choice is a big deal. It's a big deal. Everybody wants school choice. And I'll support our police and stop the crime wave that was caused by this woman. What she's done on the border, she was the border czar. She doesn't want to talk about it. She said, I'm not the border czar. For 4 years, she's the border czar. Now she's not the border czar all of a sudden. You know why? Because people are coming in at levels that nobody's ever seen before. They're coming in by the millions, and they're coming from jails and prisons. They're slightly different meaning. They're coming from mental institutions and insane asylums. They're emptying out so many of their cities of criminals, and they're busing them into the good old USA. They're busing the worst gang members, the worst drug dealers, terrorists, and they're bringing them in and dropping them here, and they're saying, if you come back, we're going to kill you. We're going to kill you if you come back, or we'll give you the death penalty, but we're going to kill you if you come back. So they're dropping their criminals here. They're emptying their jails and dumping everybody, and these are tough people too, and they're dumping them into our country. And you take a look at the prison populations all over the world. We're not just talking about South America, all over the world, the Congo in Africa. Many people are coming out of the Congo, and they're coming from jails in the Congo. So their jails are being emptied, the mental institutions are being emptied, and they're all coming to the USA. There'll be customers very shortly of Javier's fine restaurant. What's happening is horrible. It's horrible. And they're destroying our country. And we're going to do the largest deportation in the history of America. We have no choice. We have no choice. And you see the death. You see the death and destruction they're causing. I was at the border yesterday with some people whose families were just obliterated by these horrible, horrible people that have been allowed to come in. And remember, terrorists are coming in at levels we've never seen before. Only bad things can happen. So I'll secure the border, keep radical Islamic terrorists out of our country, and we will do something that's very important. I will prevent World War III. You have World War III is on the cusp. You take a look at what's happening. Biden didn't have a clue what he did with Russia and Ukraine, what that happened. That's a war that should have never started. If I were president, zero chance that would have happened. It would have never, and it didn't for 4 years. Same thing with Israel. October 7th would have never happened. And you know what else? You wouldn't have had that horror show, the most embarrassing day in our history, Afghanistan. And very importantly, you wouldn't have had inflation, because inflation was caused by energy. Now it's caused by everything. And the prices are so high that people are being driven out of business, including a lot of Hispanic people, a lot of black people. What's happening with the black population is they're losing their jobs to the people that are pouring across the border. The black population is being decimated. You wait till you see the real numbers that come. They're losing their jobs because Biden and Harris are allowing millions of people to come into our country, and they're taking black people's jobs, African American jobs. They're taking those jobs, and a lot of those jobs are Hispanic jobs too. And the next thing that's going to be hit, you can tell your union leaders, the unions are going to be hit really, really hard. So I just want to end by saying that November 5th is a very important day. I believe it will go down as the most important day in the history of our country. That means you have to vote. It's going to be a big vote. If we win this state, if we win Nevada, we're going to win something that's going to be very, very special. We're going to win the whole thing. If we win Nevada, we're going to win the whole thing. And I don't know how the hell we can lose it. I've never seen such support, the support we have. So, to Javier and his family, it's nice. Thank you. Thank you very much. I like that group over there. You know, they're a little bit frisky, but I like you very much. So I just want to thank everybody here. You're incredible people. I'm behind you 100%. November 5th, you're going to vote a little earlier than that, but whatever you got to vote. Make sure your vote is secure, because remember, they cheat like hell. Make sure, and again, we win this state. We win the whole thing, and we're going to turn our country around. So thank you very much. Thanks very much, Javier. Thanks.
All right, so that was a short one. I mean, obviously we were delayed getting over to this because of obviously the RFK Jr. thing, and even then Trump held his speech to 3:15, and it's only 3:55. So by the time he did introductions and everything, this was probably only a 30-minute pit stop. Okay, so we didn't really miss much. He was basically showing up at this restaurant, talking about no tax for tips. So let's do this. We didn't have a chance, for those of you who are watching the RFK thing, let's talk a little bit about that. I'm happy that guy is aligned with Trump. And I'm happy the Democrats screwed the pooch. I'm happy that they kept him away from the media and didn't let this guy talk. Robert F. RFK Jr. could have been a serious force in this election. There were people who probably heard him for the first time today and were like, whoa, hey, yeah, this guy is even with his voice as bad as it is, this guy can bring it. He can talk. He knows what he's talking about. He's got a family name. He can do all these different things. And it was just amazing hearing him. And I'm like, so let me get this right. Y'all wanted Dementia Joe over him. And then when Dementia Joe left, you're like, you know what? We're not going to talk to RFK. Nah, no, we don't want this guy. Let's put in Cackles Kamala, Comrade Kamala. Who in the hell thought to themselves, you know what? We could probably get behind this guy who everybody knows, huge name recognition, but now we'd rather have a puppet. Well, to the Democrat Party, can I just, with a heartfelt feeling, say, thank you very much. Boy, did y'all screw up. Boy, did you screw up. He was dropping bomb after bomb after bomb. I actually wrote the word. I wrote it down because I was like, oh my God, no you didn't. He called Kamala Harris's speech last night bellicose and belligerent. Bellicose and belligerent. Man, it's over. Over. I had been telling you guys, I'm probably one of the only people who told you guys for a while that I foresaw a landslide with the black vote, the Hispanic vote. And now with this guy? With RFK in the fold? Not just an endorsement, but here's what I'm going to do? Let me ask you a question. Never mind debating Trump. Never mind debating J.D. Vance. You can't... Kamala could never stand up toe-to-toe with what we just saw. There's no one in her organization. The commerce director didn't even know they had lost 800,000 jobs. It's completely feckless. They have no idea what they're doing. No one's running the country. And it doesn't seem like they have any bench whatsoever. They just keep recycling the same crap over and over. Hey, let's have this thing, this convention, and let's bring out Hillary, Nancy Pelosi, and the two Obamas. And meanwhile, over here, it's like, hey, you understand that there's these new blood, Vivek, J.D. Vance, Elon Musk, RFK. And I was probably, I don't like to take too much credit sometimes, but I'm going to take credit on this one. Let me just pat myself on the back. I played for you, those of you who saw it, and I picked up on that word kept coming up. And I said to you in the video, I'm like, y'all hearing this? It's being repeated by, a number of different people. Unity. Don Jr. when he went on Glenn Beck's show. Unity. And I kept hearing that, and I'm going, that's where they're going. They are going to create the Unity Party. I said it. I said it is like the battle for Middle Earth. I'm probably the only one you heard describe it that way. I said the orcs, the Democrat Party, are all over here with their ugly faces and everything else, and they're marching in lockstep. They don't have any minds. They're just go get those people. Looking like the insane clown posse walking around out there. And then I said, over here, you got the dwarves, you've got the elves, you got all these different factions coming together to beat these orcs. And now it has come to fruition. Full circle. RFK Jr. took on the media. He took on the Democrat Party. As he talked, you probably realized at that point, this man knows where the bodies are buried literally in that Democrat Party. I'm sure right now they're on Amazon, 1-800, hook me up. We need a lot more Depends right now. We got a lot of people in Washington shit in their drawers. They have to sit back and go, oh, it's over. There's, like I said earlier, it's one thing to endorse Trump. Yeah, I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna endorse Trump. All right, have a good day. It's not what he said. I'm gonna endorse Trump, and here's what we're gonna do. First part was thanking everyone who worked with him. The second part was I endorse Trump. And the third part of his speech was, and here's what I'm going to do with Trump. As long as Trump keeps his word, which that man will, here's where I'm going. I'm going to make America healthy again. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. They've been talking for some time. They knew where this was headed. They knew. Let's just wait until after Kamala gives her, what's the word? Bellicose and belligerent speech. And then let's pound these effers. Let's just go balls to the wall. And then tonight at 6:30, the big one. A huge, huge event where obviously this guy is heading over to Glendale, Arizona right now. They're going to hit her on the border. They're going to hit her on the FDA. They're going I'm just drooling. And the problem why I think every single one of you will agree at this point. The reason why this guy was only polling at 3%, 4%, 5% was because they didn't let him speak. Nobody could hear him. He had no voice, literally. He was not allowed to do television interviews. No, no, not Robert F. Kennedy, not that guy. What do you think is going to happen when now what he can do with the Trump machine? I just want you to just swallow that right now. Understand. Hey, RFK, you need to do a speech? Yeah. Hey, brother Elon, can you hook him up? Yeah. We're going to go live on Twitter tonight, and we're going to let RFK just school you. Screw the media. Media, right now, you're done. You've got so many people aligning that you are just rendered useless. You've got all of these YouTubers, unless they start, picking us off one by one. And I was listening to him talking. I'm like, oh God, I'm toast. I am so toast. I'm waiting for the notification like any minute now saying, you let that idiot talk, and we're going to have to shut it down. Pray for me. Pray for me that doesn't happen. If not, if anything else, they may just suppress it. But, man, he went scorched earth on the Democrats. He went scorched earth on the media. He went scorched earth on a number of the three-letter agencies, FDA, CIA. Oh my God, I cannot believe what I heard as he was talking. And I'm sure Trump was watching it wherever he was backstage, just going, oh, this guy's, oh, this is great. Oh, yeah. You don't really know what we're going to do here. I could just hear Trump talking about it. And I could tell by what your responses, I could tell what you guys were saying, that, this thing, people were moved to tears. And what's funny, when I heard people saying they were moved to tears, the Unity Party, the Trump machine, yeah, that's the kind of thing people were moved to when they talked about his father. That's how people regarded his uncle. When I just remember as a kid watching my mom, just like I mentioned, just so upset because he was assassinated. And like I said before, they had two big Kennedy busts in our house. It was visceral. It was emotional. That's why they were Democrats. That's the reason why, they just kept going, but that's the reason why they were Democrats. They were like, my father joined the army. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask to find out what, you can do for your country. Can you imagine some of the nut jobs we saw at the DNC reciting that? Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. I would love to see anybody at the DNC recite that. Tell people that's how you feel. No, they've completely flip-flopped it. Don't do nothing for your country. Make it all about you. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. He had been dismissed as a vaccine conspiracy theorist, and now he'll finally be heard and taken seriously. And notice when he was talking, he may have mentioned it, but it wasn't a whole lot of what he was saying. It's almost like he's moved on from the jab, and now he's tackling the food industry. Oh, hey, y'all been putting all kinds of stuff in people's foods. Maybe that's why Barry's a little portly. I liked my blueberry muffins before my wife took them away from me. She told me you got to go back to the gym. Hey, those football days are over. You can't just eat everything you want and stay, looking like the Hulk. Now you're getting a little bit older, having more of a sedentary lifestyle. We're going to take them donuts and biscuits and muffins away from you. That man's going after it all. After it all. I mean, he mentioned a big brand. When he said he was going after Ozempic, I just go whisper that. Ugh, unbelievable. Bye-bye DNC convention. The CIA made JFK and RFK and Malcolm X and Martin Luther King all disappear. Yeah, they did. Yeah, no way the Democrat Party has become the party of self-centered narcissists. Yep, that and then low-T men and women who just want to do nothing but dispose of internal life. It's crazy. Barry, no other channel informs and explains things like you. Oh, all right. Let me do something. Thank you for the comment. I had taken some notes as well on some of the comments. People were like, "Why is he staying in the blue states? Why didn't he just withdraw completely?" Wait, not so fast, my friend. All right. So let me explain a little bit of that to you. One, because he's suspended his campaign, it's likely. Can't promise it because we don't know what Biden's administration is going to do, but it's likely he continues to have Secret Service protection. It's likely whatever donations he's had, he can still do different things with those donations. He suspended it, he didn't kill it. Other thing is, people are like, well, why'd he stay on in the blue states and then, remove himself from the red states and the what do you call it, battleground states? Well, here's why. Because in Trump, remember Trump, not just Trump, remember there's internal polls and external polls. Trump's team, as Kamala's, they have internal polls. In these blue states, and nobody's probably haven't even been looked at them. Now understand what's going to happen moving forward. This guy is now going to have a much bigger presence. People are going to hear him talk. They can't shut him up. They can't make him go away. He is now going to be able to probably hold, I would say, rallies on his own. I would say this guy's going to hold, X spaces. His entire presence has now been elevated. If people hear him talk like we just heard him talk, there's some people in these blue states are going to go, whoa, wait a second. This guy can actually, he's got some policy awareness, and this makes a little bit of sense. And I'm in New Jersey, I'm in a blue state, and maybe I don't vote for Kamala Harris. Maybe I vote for RFK Jr., because I can't vote for this Trump guy, but I could vote for RFK Jr. You see where this is headed? You see that he just elevated him in all of the blue states? Moving forward at this point, now he can become a presence in some of these blue states. Did they just put some of these blue states in play for Trump? I.e., Virginia. Is there going to be enough in these blue states where people are now going to have to look at RFK versus Kamala? He's still on the ballot. He only took his name off the ballots that were battlegrounds. So in Pennsylvania, hey, I'm going to take my name off of the ballot here because I want them people to vote for Trump and beat Kamala in Pennsylvania. I'm going to pull it off of Arizona so all my peeps just go ahead and vote for Trump. I'm going to leave it on in Virginia because now with my elevated presence over the next 3 months, I can start doing little rallies and I can do X spaces and I can get on television. I've got money now because I don't have to do all this stuff. I could run commercials. I could run my commercials attacking Kamala. See where this is going. So when people were asking those questions, he's not going to need the big staff. He's going to probably lay off most of those guys, or they may go work as ground runners for Trump. But it opens him up to where now he's going to be able to have a much bigger mushroom cloud of awareness. That has got to terrify everybody in the media and in the White House. Kamala. She has no answer for that. There can be no answer for that. Now just imagine, she's out there doing her stump speeches because she won't sit for an interview. And what was the first thing he said when he was talking? He goes, they wouldn't interview me, they wouldn't say anything to me, they didn't want me on television. He was pretty much a pariah. Go away, RFA. No, we don't want you involved. Now they're probably going to want him because they're going to try and destroy. Their only option at this point is to confront him, to try and destroy him. You watch over the next couple of weeks what the media does, because right now they're probably huddling going, what the hell do we do? We can't pump this woman up because she won't talk to us. So she's leaving a completely empty lane because the media can't talk to Kamala Harris. She won't show up. And so what are they going to talk about for the next couple months or whatever till the debate? She's got to focus on the debate because she's probably got to memorize lines and lies. And now she's got at least a two-prong approach of people calling her out. I bet you if you went onto RFK Jr.'s Twitter page, I should have took a snapshot of maybe, do I still have it open? Take a snapshot of how many followers he had before that speech and then how many followers he has now. No, I had shut it. Damn. Maybe I can get back to it and let's see. I'm going to do that for you right now. I want to see what happens when as this thing moves forward. We need to have this snapshot. Okay, as of right now, he's got 3.3 million followers. So I'm going to snapshot that. I got it. Watch what happens. Look at the engagement he gets on Twitter. He's going to have a lot of nuts hating on him, but he's also going to grow. She won't be able to combat this. It's over. It's completely, just pray for their safety, but that's about it. The White House and the media really only have fear. That's it. It's over. Wow, somebody said Fox is waging war on him. Woo! Wow. Where is that? I just saw that. It already started very. This thing is moving too fast. Somebody said it already. Let me see if I can find that. It already started. Well, I mean, so you guys are saying. Let me see here if I can find anything. So some of you guys are already saying it, that it's wow. Some of you guys are also saying this. Now she's going to have to get swapped out. Good point. These posters will say he took voters from Trump. They've been rendered useless. No one's going to listen to him at this point. Every single poll, and I was doing my poll show tonight on Fridays, but I have to do it tomorrow. But I'm going to snapshot those because now it's Friday at 4:15. There's no poll coming out today or tomorrow. The next thing they can do a poll is Monday. So they've completely cut her off at the knees to see what kind of bounce they were going to have. Because how are you going to have a bounce at this point? It would have to be 100% fake. CNN, their haters make it greater. Haters make it greater. I'm sure he has more info. Yeah, I'm sure he has more info than maybe even Trump did have before. Yeah, it's gonna get slow mode is off. Okay, so that's why it's moving so fast. Okay, you know why? Because I had to jump in this one too fast. I'm sorry. Yeah, is that you're clairvoyant? I'm not being clairvoyant. I'm just seeing at this point. And just thinking about if I was in a political consultancy, saying, because a lot of people ask, why would he stay on those other ballots? And so I'm just putting it out there to let you think about it. If I stay on these ballots with a higher profile, where people are going to see me, I'm going to raise my presence in those blue states, New Jersey, New York, Michigan. I mean, I don't know if they're going to consider Michigan a swing state. Maybe they do. But now, stay on those ballots and battle it out with those people. And again, just this much. It's not even a whole lot. Just do enough here to do damage in some of these states. Now the Democrats are going to have to spend money in places they didn't expect to spend. And I know a bunch of you guys said, hey, with Jill, I don't want nothing to do with Jill Stein. Again, I just want you, if you haven't seen the movie, go ahead and watch Lord of the Rings, one of my wife's favorite movies. We watched it last night. She's still going through the 3 trilogies all over again. and just watch what happens. And as you watch that, understand the trolls and the orcs are the Democrat Party. And they have a massive army, like they do now. And the only way for Middle Earth to win was for everybody else to come together. I don't care if Jill Stein is a nutbag. I don't care if Cornel West is a nutbag. If you want to defeat communism, you got to take her out. Period. Worry about the other stuff later. Let's destroy the Democrat Party and communism. All the differences, even RFK says, yeah, there's stuff I don't agree with Trump on. I don't like this, I don't like that. But you know what? I like America. I can argue with him on this other stuff, but I can't if we're in communism. I can't if she does all this other crazy stuff. In 2028, we're going to get down, we're going to roll in the mud, we're going to see who's going to come in after Trump. Right now, in order for me to do anything in 2028, we got to beat the hell out of this Democrat Party that's lost its way. Like you said, my uncles and my father were Democrats. This shit we're looking at ain't Democrats. They're using the word, they're using the name, but they're not Democrats. No possible way. You can go back and listen to stories and speeches, which I'm going to show you tonight, that RFK said. You can listen to speeches that JFK said, what he wanted to do, and then compare them to the nutbags that are in the Democrat Party today, and you will clearly see this ain't the same Democrats that people grew up on, which is why it's splintering and why there's blacks and Hispanics and other people are like, no, man, this ain't it. This just isn't it. Everyone who took money to bring down this nation followed the money. Yeah. Boy, I'm telling you, if I was a CEO of one of these media companies and I wasn't beholden to somebody, which unfortunately CNN probably has to be because there's no way they could be on the air if they weren't getting funded by China or somebody. But let's say let's just assume CNN is a real business. I would have to think really long and hard right now about, maybe we start shifting towards Trump because this is looking really bad, and we want to be in business. We want to be capitalist. We don't want to have the government running us. And our stockholders would be better. And let's go ahead and start going after Kamala. Might piss off a lot of the nuts that they have on their staffs, but they got to do something. So they will 25th Amendment Biden and run Harris as an incumbent, their last Hail Mary. I could foresee that happening. I mean, he's not doing anything now anyways, so they might as well make her number 47 just to screw Trump and all his, you'd have to be 48 and whatever she could do between now and then really watch out. Because watch out for the uni party, not the unity party, the uni party trying to do stuff and allow Kamala to really screw things up. That's my only worry with them naming her president. But if she gets in and can't do anything, if the Republicans hold their ground and don't allow her to do stuff, then it doesn't really matter. With executive orders, they'll get the emergency in and they'll go into court and try to get it thrown out. But now here's what you're going to have to look for. I'm going to have to jump because I got to get ready for this next show. Watch what happens now with Judge Merchan. These people are rats. They're terrified. They've been checkmated. And what are they going to do at this point? Try to throw him in jail? When you play chess and you look at where the moves are on a board and you start trying to figure out, okay, you have to anticipate their next move so you can figure out what your move is going to be. Because they're doing the same. They're trying to anticipate your move. Now, the thing here is they don't have too many moves. They've got run her as she is, 25th Amendment, and put her as president. They really can't take her out and put somebody else in at this point, so I don't think they can swap out. The swap out option ended yesterday. That's done. There's just not enough time to swap somebody out, unless of course she met her demise. But let's not go there. So your options at this point are to throw Trump in jail and see what happens. Name her the president now, or take your chances in November. And in between, they're doing all the dirt they possibly can do to try and make that happen. That's the scary part, because now you're going to look at a desperate animal, an animal that has been exposed, an animal that now has a formidable person who can talk about the Democrat Party and expose all their bones in the closet. RFK has so much information. Tonight's show, I'm going to show you a video that is just going to blow you away and is going to put goosebumps on your arms. They have already sacrificed too many pieces. Exactly. Democrat hypocrisy knows no bounds. Yeah, Trump said yesterday the illegals cannot vote because the Supreme... Now, let me clarify that. The Supreme Court did not say that illegals can't vote. The Supreme Court said that the Arizona law, there's a law in place. The law was challenged, and they said, no, the law is the law in this state. Now, if your state, I don't know, I'm just going to pick one out of my buttocks here. Let's say you live in Maryland, and Maryland doesn't have a law against newcomers voting, then that ruling won't take effect because there's no law that they're breaking. There's just nothing there. I would hope to see a bunch of states running to pass laws very quickly, the ones who don't have it. But in any event, Arizona, because of that decision, probably pushes that right into the Trump camp. I talked about that yesterday. I don't know if Pennsylvania has that, but they probably don't. The only thing that scares me is the Wartime Act and cancel the election. If they're willing to fight like that, because at that point, they go ahead and 25th Amendment Joe, put Kamala in as president, and then launch a nuclear attack on Iran or something. Don't forget, Letitia James couldn't get to Trump's assets. Yep, that's still coming up. So, civil unrest 2.0. Yeah, if you got it, lock and load. It's about to get bumpy, even though we had a fantastic day and there's still more to come. Lock and load if you got it, and make sure you're protected, because these people are now cornered animals. I can't wait to start watching some of the media, because what are they going to do? What are they going to do? I thought it was in the Constitution. Yeah, but you see how much these people care about the Constitution. They don't care. So the blue states all get bluer. Not necessarily. That's why I said he can stay on, and we'll see what happens. In fact, it's one of those things where if you think about it, what I heard today, because I hadn't heard much of him. I had seen some of his stuff, but he's never been on he's never on television that much. He's not on the local show, the national Sunday shows. They never put him on. And I heard somebody who could conceivably, realistically, give Kamala a run for her money in some of these blue states. If he had the exposure, and he's got the name recognition, he's far more intelligent than Kamala, he could beat Kamala in some of these blue states. Definitely could. It's over. Yeah, it's over. I got to believe that. All right, guys, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump because I got to get ready for it. Tennessee requires driver's license to be the same on voter. Okay, great. I'm going to go ahead and get ready. What a day. What a fantastic day. Unbelievable. Thank you for jumping over onto this stream. We're going to see you for the big rally. Let's see what time I go live with that. Let me just make sure. Glendale, Arizona, 6:30 tonight. You're not going to want to miss that. I'm pretty sure Trump and RFK are going to be together on that. I didn't have a chance after the last one, but let me go ahead and take this closing moment to thank everybody for Super Chats. Robert Cooper, Eric Parks, Zelda Brits, just another knucklehead. Thanks, Barry. Belinda Lemen, Sandy M, thank you, Barry, for all you do. Thank you. Todd Fulmer, Cater Stats, Keith Montgomery, NJ Sound. He's here a lot. NJ Sound, thank you. Sandra Mass, thank you. God bless RFK and President Donald Trump and Elon Musk and JD Vance and the Patriots. Thank you very, very, very much. R. Carnes, Nike Nono, Staten 2033, Julia Cal 69, Angel Melendez, and Tommy Rad. And also thank you very much to each of the moderators who jump in here, and thank you for your time. So we're going to see you at 6:30. Don't be late. Talk to you soon.